Okay, problem number 19. Solve to find the variables. So to find y, we look at these two angles and realize that they're congruent because both are vertical angles, and vertical angles are always congruent. So the measurement of y is the same as that angle, so y is 23 degrees. To find x, you use the fact that all three angles in every triangle always add up to 180 degrees. So we say x plus 81 plus y, but we know now that y is 23. So plus 23 equals 180. And then we solve this equation to figure out what x is. So that's 104. Subtract 104 from both sides, and we get x equals 76. To find z, you're basically going to do the same thing. You just use 23 degrees and 25 degrees. So the equation will be z plus 25 plus 23 equals 180. So then you get z plus 48 equals 180. Subtract 48 from both sides, and you get the angle measurement for z, which is 132. For number uh, or letter B, you use the fact that, first of all, look at the triangle. You should notice that you have an isosceles triangle. Some problems in math, they provide you with extra information. It's like intended to distract you. So you have to be able to focus on what's important, what's not important. We don't care that this length is 4 or 8x minus 10. We can't do anything with that. But because this angle is congruent to this angle, that means that this side is congruent to that side. So I can create an equation, and my equation is going to be x squared minus 19 equals 3x plus 21. So immediately when you see this x squared term, you should realize that you're more likely than not are going to have to use MAF. So you want to move all the terms to one side. So subtract the 21 and subtract the 3x, and you get this x squared minus 3x minus 40 equals 0. So let me make some space by erasing this material. So MAF, so some teachers, not some, the teachers, your teacher may explain it differently. Some teachers use Punnett squares. Some teachers use factor by grouping. Um, because the coefficient is 1, it makes this problem a lot easier. So I'm not going to use Punnett squares or grouping. I'm going to multiply that 1 times the negative 40 to get negative 40. A is your coefficient for the linear term. That's this term here in the middle with the exponent of 1. Now you have to think about what are your factors? What two numbers multiply to give you negative 40 would add to give you negative 3? So after some guessing and checking, you come up with negative 8 and positive 5. So then we rewrite this as x minus 8 and x plus 5. And then you solve for x by setting each of the factors equal to 0. Many of you will be able to do this mentally just by looking at the problem. We get x equals 8 and x equals negative 5. Okay, see the two markings here and here. That tells me that the type of triangle I have is an isosceles triangle. And isosceles triangles have some properties. Um, One property is the base angles are congruent. So x is equal to 48 degrees. And I know that only because I know that this is an isosceles triangle and the two base angles are congruent. To figure out why, you just add up the three angles and set them equal to 180 degrees. So we have 48 plus x. Well, we now know that x is 48 as well, plus y all equals 180 degrees. So 48 degrees and 48 degrees, that gives me 96. And then once you subtract 96 from 180, you end up with 84. All right, D. So D is similar. We have an isosceles triangle, and we know that because the base angles are congruent. So you want to remember this idea that if you have a triangle and you have these markings, that tells you that those two angles are congruent. That implies that the two sides with the markings are congruent. So then I can just say 3x minus 9 is equal to x plus 31, and then solve this equation to get my answer. So that's 2x minus 9. Add 9 to both sides, and you get 2x equals 40, and x is going to equal 20. And it doesn't tell me to find the length of the sides, so we can stop at uh, finding the fact that x is equal to 20. All right, E is same type of or similar idea as one of the problems, one or two of the problems above, in the sense that you have a triangle, and again, the sum of all three angles in every triangle are equal to 180 degrees. So that means that 3x plus 17 plus 2x minus 9 plus 90 degrees, which is what this box represents, a 90-degree angle, is all equal to 180 degrees. So now we combine our like terms. 2x and 3x is 5x. 17 minus 9 is 8, but 8 plus 90 gives me 98. So then I subtract 98 from both sides. We get 5x equals 82, and then divide by 5, and we're going to have a decimal number. You can leave it as a fraction, 82 over 5. Um, as a decimal, it should be like 16.4. Most teachers are okay with you leaving it as a fraction. Okay, F is different. So we have a triangle plus we have like an angle outside the triangle. And to do F, you have to remember something that you've learned this year called the exterior angle theorem. And the exterior angle theorem says that um, the two interior angles that are not adjacent to the exterior angle add up to equal the exterior angle. So what that means is this angle here that's identified as having the measurement of 2x degrees, and this angle here, which is different, but it has an angle measurement of 24 degrees, that when I add those two together, they're exactly the same as this angle here on the outside, um, that's represented by 4x minus 10 degrees. And this is the angle I'm talking about. So I set that equal to 4x minus 10. And now we have an algebraic equation. We solve for x. Excuse me. So many students are used to moving the variables to the left. You can move it to the left or to the right. I'm actually going to subtract 2x since it's the smaller of the two coefficients. Coefficient is just a number in front of the variable. So then we have 24 equals 2x minus 10. Add 10 to both sides. We'll have 34 equals 2x. And that means that x is equal to 17. And this completes the solution for number 19. All right, let's look at number 20. So number 20 says in a triangle, measurement of angle A is equal to 54 degrees. And then it gives a relationship describing how B and C is, how B and C are related, but it doesn't tell you what either one is equal to. So the first thing you want to do is follow the advice that's written here. You want to draw a diagram. So you have a triangle. Let's call it ABC. A, we're told, is 54 degrees. And the only thing we're told about B is that it's 6 times the measurement of angle C. Well, if we knew the measurement of angle C, we could find B. So what is the measurement of angle C? Well, we don't know. So in math, if you don't know something, what do you use to represent that unknown quantity? You use a variable. So let's call it X. And then B is 6 times the measurement of C, so then that's going to be 6x. And now I can add the terms together and set them equal to 180 degrees. And I get x equals 18. But you want to be careful while you focus on solving the problem and you arrive at a place in which you think is the answer. You want to be careful to make sure you've actually answered the question, like you follow all the instructions. So if we go back to the beginning, the instructions say find the measure of each angle. So they're asking you to do more than just find what x is. They want you to figure out what is the actual angle measurement of each angle. We know A is 54 degrees, so we can write that. That's 54. And now we know that the measurement of angle C is equal to x, but x is just the same thing as x 18, we just solved for x. And the measurement of angle B is equal to 6 times that, or 6x. So 6 times 10 is 60. 6 times 8, 48. So that gives me 108 degrees. And I can verify that my answer is correct by adding the three measurements. So adding 54 plus 18 plus 108. And since those numbers are the angle measurements of three angles in a triangle, what should they equal? Correct, 180 degrees. And they will equal 180 degrees. And that's some reassurance that my answer is correct or is likely correct. This is absolutely correct.